I love this movie, and as you can see, I am also blonde. So I know it's a little bit of a departure from our normal stuff, but I wanted to try it out just to see what happened. And maybe it's an opportunity for me to share some of my experiences and to give an opportunity for you guys to kind of get to know me a little bit better, more personally. All right, let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to Legal Bytes. I'm Alyte, I'm a lawyer, and on this channel, we usually explain the law one bite at a time. But today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm gonna give you my reaction to a handful of scenes from Legally Blonde, one of my favorite movies, but a movie that I actually haven't seen since I think I actually started law school, come to think of it. I've been wanting to make this video for a while since I love this movie. I grew up loving it. It came out when I was in like a junior high or something like that, and it may have actually been a big influence in my going to law school in the first place, because I'm basic. So obviously I'm gonna watch the whole movie because I love it, but I'm not gonna show the whole thing in this video because of time restrictions and, I don't know, copyright claims. So I remember the overall basics of what happens, but not a lot of the tiny little details, and especially not since having gone through law school. So this will be kind of fun, kind of different, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, if you guys wanna see more stuff like this, or if you just want me to get right back to regular real life law, or alternatively pop culture trials. I know I haven't done those in a while, and some people have been asking for them, so I do wanna get back to those as well. Anyway, let us know. And if you do enjoy it, hit the like button, please, because it does help us. Okay, let's get into it.
Oh my God! Do you know who this is?
No.
That's Warner's older brother.
Who?
Third-year Yale law student Putnam Bose Huntington III and his fiancée Lane Walker Vanderbilt. First year Yale law. This is the type of girl that Warner wants to marry. This is what I need to become to be serious.
What? Practically deformed?
No. A law student.
So there is this common trope in law school where most people are going for their JD, their Juris Doctorate. That's the degree that you get at the end of law school. But then there are some people that are supposedly going for their MRS degree, standing for Mrs. Anyway.
Law school?
It's a perfectly respectable place, Daddy.
Honey, you were first runner-up at the Miss Hawaiian Tropics contest. Why are you going to throw that all away?
Going to Harvard is the only way I'm going to get the love of my life back.
Oh, sweetheart, you don't need law school. Law school's for people who are boring and ugly and serious.
Also, there's another common trope in law school where supposedly a law school 10, meaning 10 out of 10, meaning like the most beautiful person you'll find in law school, is a real life 7, I think. That's because apparently, generally speaking, people that go to law school are not as beautiful or attractive as your average person out on the street. I don't think that's necessarily true. I saw plenty of people that were beautiful, handsome, whatever. But that is a thing. So that's hilarious to revisit.
Harvard Law School?
That's right.
But that's a top 3 school.
Oh, I have a 4.0.
Yes. But your major is fashion merchandising.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter for getting into law school. All that matters is you have a top GPA, you have a top LSAT score, and then, you know, whatever essays you write. But the first two are by far and away the most important, at least when it came to the time that I was applying to law school anyway. I don't know if it's different now. Probably not, though. And the reason for that, I think, is because law schools are looking for the most efficient way to separate the wheat from the chaff. It's just easiest to look at one number here, one number there. And then if somebody is kind of on the border, on the edge, they've got a certain number of applications, then they can look at essays. You know, they can look at how skilled someone is at writing, what kind of a story that they give, what kind of a narrative that they give. Anyway, continuing.
Harvard won't be impressed that you aced history of polka dots. What are your backups?
I don't need backups. I'm going to Harvard.
Well then, you'll need excellent recommendations from your professors.
Okay.
And a heck of an admissions essay. And at least a 175 on your LSATs.
So letters of recommendation for professors, also true. I remember the professors that I approached for my letters of recommendation. One of them was fantastic. She was my History of France professor, and she was just like the best. Oh yeah, and then the LSAT. So the LSAT stands for Law School Admission Test. It's out of 180 points, and it's scored on a curve, which means your performance on the test is only one factor. It also depends on how everyone else does. So typically those top schools like Stanford, Harvard, and Yale, you need at least 170 in order to even be considered. So to say that she needs 175 is probably relatively accurate, actually.
What the hell do you want? We're eating lunch.
I just thought that,
You just
maybe
thought-
I could...
You just thought you could come here and show me what I'm definitely not missing?
That's not why I came by.
Hey, Paulette, how many times you gonna come over here begging me to take you back, huh?
I was,
Dewey Newcomb?
Who's asking?
I'm Elle Woods, Miss Bonafonte's attorney. And I'm here to discuss the legal situation at hand.
Come again?
Do you understand what subject matter jurisdiction is?
No.
I didn't think so. Well, due to habeas corpus, you and Miss Bonafonte had a common law marriage, which heretofore entitles her to what is legally referred to as equitable division of the assets.
Come again?
Okay, so all of that put together doesn't make really any sense. Also, my biggest concern is the fact that she is a first-year law student and walking around saying that she's an attorney. That's not exactly legal. The practice of law in any state is regulated by the state bar, and they always require that in order to put yourself out as an attorney, you have to be in good standing with the bar, which includes passing the bar exam and regularly paying your bar fees, and usually includes graduation from a law school, particularly an accredited law school, although that's not always the case. For example, in California, you don't actually need to graduate from a law school in order to become a lawyer. You can also do it by working for a certain amount of time under another lawyer who is in good standing with the state bar. Most notably, it came out like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, something like that, kind of recently, that Kim Kardashian was doing that. I don't know if she's kept up with that route, but that was at least something that she said she was doing, said she was planning to continue to pursue. Anyway, if you're in law school, don't go around saying that you're an attorney, because that can get you into trouble.
Why would I kill my husband?
Insurance, the love affair, pure, unadulterated hatred. Believe me, the DA will come up with plenty of reasons.
I loved him.
He was 34 years older than you. That doesn't look so good to a jury.
Then show them a picture of his dick. That might clear a few things up.
Brooke, I believe you, but a jury is gonna want an alibi.
Well, I can't give you that. And if you put me on the stand, I'll lie.
Well then, I guess we're done for today.
In this case, because it is a criminal case, she does have the option of pleading the Fifth Amendment and not actually testifying. Also to note, he mentioned that she needs some sort of an alibi. That's not always the case for a defendant in a criminal case. In fact, the defense technically doesn't need to disprove anything. What is required is that the prosecution has to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a higher burden than any civil case. So really the first job of a criminal defense attorney is to poke holes in the prosecution's case. So maybe that's what their plan is. Anyway, continuing on.
I have to tell you the real reason I came here. Professor Callahan says we really, really need your alibi.
Oh. I can't. You don't understand.
Who could understand better than me?
It's so shameful.
Whatever it is, Brooke, it could save you.
No, that's just it. It would ruin me.
How?
I've made my fortune on the ability to perfect women's bodies with Brooke's butt buster workout.
I know you helped me go from a 6 to a 4.
It's great. On the day of Hayworth's murder, I was getting
What?
I was getting liposuction.
Huh?
Liposuction! Oh, God! No. I know, I'm a fraud. It's not like normal women can have this ass. If my fans knew that I bought it, I would lose everything. I've already lost my husband. I'd rather go to jail than lose my reputation.
Brooke, your secret's safe with me.
Thank you.
I don't understand. Like, they could say that she was going to the doctor for a certain medical treatment without revealing the actual nature of the treatment. Because if you think about it, the prosecution wouldn't care about whether it's for liposuction or other kinds of plastic surgery or getting a mole removed, for crying out loud. All they would care about is that she's potentially physically in another location at the time of the murder. And most importantly, that there are other people who are totally disinterested in the outcome of the case who can corroborate those facts. So it's totally possible to protect the sensitivity of those specific facts of the fact that she was getting liposuction, while at the same time providing the fact that she actually does have an alibi in this case. Anyway, moving on.
Define affair.
Have you and Mrs. Wyndham had sexual relations?
Yes. Okay? Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, court will reconvene tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We're adjourned.
So that was a direct examination. That was a witness that was put on by the prosecution. And usually right after the attorney puts on their direct examination, then the opposing counsel gets to do their cross-examination. Typically, judges like to set these up so that the cross-examination is on the same day as the direct examination. Partly because of just scheduling, they don't want to have to make a witness come back on a second day, but also partly because they want the testimony to be good, to be clear. Having that much time between a direct examination and a cross-examination can give the witness an opportunity to think back on the testimony that they gave and maybe sort of figure out some ways that they can clean up their testimony before they have to have the pressure of the opposing counsel come in. So that aspect here, to me, feels a little bit less accurate.
Did you ever take Mrs. Wyndham on a date?
Yes.
Where?
A restaurant in Concord where no one could recognize us.
And how long have you been sleeping with Mrs. Wyndham?
3 months.
And your boyfriend's name is?
Chuck.
Right.
Silence!
Pardon me.
Yes, Mr. Salvatore.
I was confused.
Oh.
You see, I thought you said friend. Chuck is just a friend.
Oh, okay. You bitch!
Chuck, wait! Silence in my court. Sit down, Mr. Salvatore. Silence in my courtroom!
Did I miss that?
Silence in my courtroom!
If I'm being totally honest, that cross-examination actually isn't the best. It ended up being effective, but it wasn't the best. Because typically in cross-examinations, you're supposed to use leading questions. Basically meaning questions that involve a response that is only a yes or a no. In the end, it ended up being just as effective because he was able to lead him right into where he wanted him to go, but I'm just being nitpicky.
What are you so happy about? You're on trial for murder.
Get up.
What?
You're fired. I have new representation.
Who?
Okay, so obviously she's not a licensed attorney. So what I'm going to be looking for is some sort of an explanation for how she's able to practice under another attorney.
Excuse you, you're in my way.
She's a law student. She can't defend you.
Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court ruling 3.03.
See? Thank you, David.
Counselors, approach the bench.
You're not going up there.
Oh, yes, I am.
I'm sorry, maybe you didn't hear me. You were fired.
Counselors, now, all of you.
Elle Woods, Your Honor. Rule 3.03 of Supreme Judicial Court states that a law student may appear on behalf of a defendant in criminal proceedings.
Your Honor, I have no problem with this.
I do. I'm not allowing it.
Oh, but you agreed last night in your office when we were discussing my career.
The ruling also states that you need a licensed attorney to supervise you. Mr. Callahan.
That I won't agree to.
I'll supervise, Your Honor.
Well then, Ms. Woods, proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And there you have it. Like I said, it's been a long time since I watched this, so I don't really remember the exact details of what happens. But there you go. That's how they get around it. I have actually seen law students appear in court in a supervised sort of position like this in California, but in that case, it was, I think, for an appellate argument in civil court. But nonetheless, it does exist. It is a real thing. Typically probably reserved for someone who's in their third year of law school as opposed to their first year of law school, but it is possible.
Miss Wyndham, did you hear a shot fired?
No, I was in the shower.
Okay. So, sometime in the 20 minutes that you were in the shower, your father was shot.
I guess.
Your father was shot while you were in the shower, but you didn't hear the shot because you were in the shower?
Yes. I was washing my hair.
Where is she going with this?
Have a little faith, George.
Miss Wyndham, what had you done earlier that day?
I got up, got a latte, went to the gym, got a perm, and came home.
Okay, so I know that this becomes a really big moment in the movie. Realistically, Elle would already know this information because in most cases before trial, usually there's some sort of a deposition that's taken for each witness. That would include the daughter's deposition. And apparently in this case, they did have depositions. If you remember a little bit ago, Vivian came in asking if Elle was done going through the depositions.
Are you done with that deposition yet?
Oh, yeah, here, take it. I've read it like 20 times.
And it's really helpful to know the details of each deposition because then you're able to compare the witnesses' responses during the deposition to those during trial. If there's any sort of changes, that's something that you can potentially impeach the witness on, basically to show that they are either misrepresenting or outright lying about certain things. So here, Elle has this realization that the daughter's alibi was that she was in the shower for 20 minutes, but earlier that day she had just gotten a perm. She would have known that, and that would have jumped out to her way earlier in real life. But it's Hollywood. So that's that. I know that this was kind of a departure from our normal deep dive videos, but I wanted to try it out and see what stuck. I'm curious for you guys' thoughts. Do you guys want to see more stuff like this, or do you want to see more real life legal analysis? Let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, we'd love it if you'd hit the like button. It does help us with YouTube algorithm gods. And if you are new to our channel and you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell so you can find out when the next video is uploaded. See you in the next video.